Hello and welcome. My name is Roxanne Bintrop. I'm a student advisor for the University of Liverpool. Later on in the videos, you will see me introduce you to some important people that you will meet during your career, your academic career. I will be speaking with an instructor, a study skills tutor, a student support manager, and a student advisor. This section of the video is to talk about first aid and prevention in terms of citing and referencing. We all hope that none of our students encounter plagiarism. However, here are some helpful tips if you happen to find yourself in a scenario dealing with plagiarism. When a student has violated the Academic Honesty Declaration and have found themselves in the predicament of having a plagiarism charge, there are some key steps to take. One of them is maintaining contact with your instructor. The instructor will definitely want to know what's going on, what has happened, and what has brought you to that place. So go ahead, have a look at that contact instructor link in the classroom, send them an email right away, explain yourself. Unfortunately, the instructor isn't going to want to know what your intent was. Unfortunately, we look at the action that was involved, but make sure that you email them, let them know what's happened. Now, there are some things that you can do to prevent these things from happening. One of the things that you can do is familiarize yourself with the style guide that you need. For education and psychology, you'll learn the APA, which is the American Psychological Association Citing and Referencing Guide. There are some really good books out there that you can buy. The American Psychological Association has their own books, and that's really important to follow. You can also ask your instructor again. Later on, you'll learn about student advisors. You can ask them. You can ask a student support manager, or you can even look at Center for Student Success, and you can check your university's online library. They will have great reference guides there. If you're in the psychology or education program, you can check the American Psychological Association's manual. They produce their own books. They're updated on a routine basis, so that would be a good idea to look into that. And if you're in law, there's which is the Oscola, the Oxford style. You can always check their website as well. And in addition to that, you can contact your instructor. And you'll learn later on that you can speak to your student advisor or your student support manager as well. And they're more than happy to help you with the guides. And lastly, always check your syllabus. In your module, it will tell you what you need to know and to help you prepare the best. Make sure that you also review the Academic Honesty Declaration. You can find this in each module on the discussion board. And just remember, for every module, you have to review this information. It is very important. The university looks at it as the highest level, and we want to make sure that you don't have any issues in the future.
My name's Barbara Ciccarelli, and I'm from the United States originally. I currently live in Amsterdam and have lived there for the past 5 years and like it quite a bit. I've been working for Laureate for almost 2 years now as an online study skills tutor, and it's given me a great opportunity to be in an international or global network, which I hope is as enjoyable for the students as it is for me. As a study skills tutor, I'm allocated the at-risk students, and normally these are allocated to me through the student advisors who normally have the first contact with the students and pick up on the fact that they need extra help. Also, the instructors play a role because through working with the students, they see that the study skills tutor could maybe make a difference in how they succeed in the program. So when I am first allocated the students, it's often noticeable right away that there's a citing and referencing problem. If it's not quickly resolved, they might be in danger of being penalized by the instructor, given a warning, or if it continues, worse than that. So my main focus with citing and referencing is to help them with quoting, help them with paraphrasing. Paraphrasing especially is difficult for them because most of them have English as a foreign language, and to paraphrase in a foreign language in a different meaning than the original meaning so that they're not plagiarizing is maybe the biggest challenge that they have. So this takes quite a bit of practice, and I point this out when I see it. Also, the instructor, because the instructor is the content they control the content, and they're the expert on the content. So they're going to pick up sometimes more than I will if there's a problem with plagiarism, because it has to do with interpreting the material. So I often stick very close to the instructor to know when there's an issue. As far as the bibliography goes, they are sometimes very stubborn about formatting. And again, I emphasize that this is an issue of academic integrity. If they're not formatting correctly, then the reader cannot find the source for further research, which of course in academia, this is a big point of research, is for others to be able to continue and further the research. Normally, when issues of plagiarism come up, I'm directed by the instructor of whether or not they are in danger of a warning or a penalty, actual penalty. And normally the instructor will handle all the policy issues, and they instruct me on what the student needs to do to avoid getting further violations. So again, that's with citing and referencing will come into play. For the minor charge, which is the one that's most common because it's incorrectly citing and referencing, and usually it's unwittingly or not on purpose. And of course, this is where the study skills tutor comes in, because our role is to teach them these skills. And I always tell them, if the sooner they learn these skills, the easier it's going to be, because they're just going to have to master them eventually anyway if they want to succeed in the program. Well, I find that when I'm allocated at-risk students, after a few weeks, I'm pretty clear on the help that they need, and I'm also given this information by the instructor, the feedback. And the students who are really, really committed to doing well improve right away. The students that don't improve rather quickly, normally it's because they're having other pressures. And I would say this is where the Laureate University of Liverpool network comes into play, because the advisor will get involved, the student manager will get involved. And so it's not always just a skills issue. But I would say normally the success rate is quite good for the skills area and the students improving, and especially with the interaction between myself, a study skills tutor, and the instructor regarding a student who needs help. The better that relationship is, the better the student is going to do, in my mind.